Hello players, this is an orientation video on defense just so we can learn as much as we can off the field, and so when we get on the field we can be able to communicate clearly as soon as possible. What I'm showing you here is just sort of a breakdown of names of positions that I've used before. We've had a free safety. Typically that's our best coverage person. Corner number 1 is our next best coverage person. Corner 2, Sam linebacker, Mike linebacker. The corners are normally the people who either play up and out on the edge or also play deep. Sam linebacker is normally the one who plays to the right or the left of the center, and then the Mike linebacker, if he's not in coverage, and then he's going to be the blitzer. So I just wanted to go over kind of some terminology. Okay, so here's a basic defense that we're going to call a 2-3. Now the first number 2 is always the number of defensive backs that we have. So you see we have a free safety and what would be corner number 1 or free safety number 2. We'll decide on what that's going to be. And I know the blitz cone, you see the orange cone, is at 7 yards. I just couldn't, because of this diagram, put the safeties where they belong. I just need you to know that you're going to be back probably 10 to 12 yards. I'm probably safer with 12. And you have half coverage. Cover 2 is why we call it 2-3. We have 2 people back in half coverage. Of course, you know the rule, not letting anyone get deeper than where you are. And then we have 3 underneath people. That's why it's called the 2-3. The free safety, by the way, gets his choice of what side of the field he wants to play on. Corner number 1 in this case would go to the opposite side. And then we have corner number 2, Mike linebacker in the middle, and Sam linebacker out on the edge. You notice when they drop back, they're only going to be dropping back about as far as the blitz cone. So the up people play from the blitz cone up toward the line of scrimmage. The back people play normally starting about 12 yards deep. It's called a 2-3 defense. Real important on anybody playing up. We have to know, first of all, that they're not going to run. Many times a mistake that young people make is as soon as the ball snaps, they start dropping back, but then it turns out to be a run, and basically by dropping back, they're just giving room for the runner to just run up yardage. You got to prove, first of all, they're not running, then drop back, okay? And we're going to work on the drop backs. Angle dropping is the important term right there. So here's another one. This one's man coverage. It's just called man blast. In these cases, you know, for man coverage, I got to know that we can play man coverage, first of all, that each of you can play. We've got other types of man coverages I'm going to show you, but you notice the free safety is lined up on the widest receiver. Normally we'd put the free safety or the best cover person on their best receiver. Notice corner number 1 would be on what would be considered their next best receiver. Sam linebacker is going to be typically over the center. Corner number 2 has their running back. And then Mike linebacker, since it's all man blast, is going to be blitzing in. We can talk about the blitzer moving on different sides of the cone or a different angle, but typically what I say is if the quarterback is right-handed, we're going to blitz from his left side, because right-handed quarterbacks typically will move out of the pocket to their right, and that's their strong arm. So we want to force them to have to run to their left if they're going anywhere at all, which is their weakest direction to throw. So we'll look at man coverage and we'll work on blitzing. Okay, let's just move on up. This is called a 2-1-2. If we don't want to blitz and we want to call cover 2 to the back, we can use corner number 2, or we can use Sam linebacker, or even Mike, it doesn't matter, who will just basically hang around right in the middle where the cone is. You notice a lot of times when you play 2-2 with a blitzer, a lot of times the middle of the field will empty out. So sometimes we may not want to blitz. We keep 2 safeties deep, 2 guys playing up, and we'll just play 1 guy right there in the middle around where the blitz cone is. I tend to like to blitz, but if we find a team that throws the ball pretty quickly, we may not even want to blitz, and we'll just play defense. This is a 2-1-2. Here's 2-2 blast. I was just talking about that. Two deep coverage. You have deep coverage, deep half. You divide the field in half. One has one half of the field, one has the other. We treat the 2 up backs in the same way. They have the 2 upper halves. Normally we use the blitz cone as the divider. Notice the 2 up guys are only dropping back as far as the blitz cone. And the blitzer is going up again. If it's a right-handed quarterback, he's blitzing on the left side. This blitzer, it's real important that you're not set up right at the cone. Teams will go on to intentionally get you to jump over the cone, at which then you have to go back behind the cone and go blitz again. Set yourself up at least 1 to 2 steps back, get in a good charging position, and then go on in. Okay, here's called 2-1 blast, 1 man. So here, notice we got the 2 corners playing back in half coverage. Sam linebacker is normally lined up opposite the blitzer. Now, if the formation were to the other side, we could switch these 2. And then we have what would be our best man cover guy on their best receiver. So we have 1 guy taking up a man coverage, 2 people deep, 1 up linebacker, and then a blitzer. Sometimes I like that 1 up guy to be actually dropping in right to the middle cone area. So we would probably fix that right there. Okay, here's 2-1 blast with 2 men. Now, we can't just throw out deep coverage. For example, we may be able to trust the cover 2 guy deep and put cover 1 and put the corner number 1 up here. But we can't take our 2 best cover guys and put them in man coverage and then put like a Sam linebacker and corner number 2 back. So if we got a good cover guy with the Sam linebacker, we can man up our second best receiver. If the corner number 2 is a good man person, we can do that. So we have cover 2, blast, 2 men. Okay? Always important when we're in man, we're pointing that guy out. I got him. I got him. Okay? Here's a traditional defense 3-1 blast. Notice free safety's in the middle. Corner number 1 to the outside. Remember, what is the fraction of field that these people are covering? 1/3. So corner number 1 has 1/3 of the field deep. Free safety has the middle third. Corner number 2, the outside third. So here we have the Sam linebacker dropping to the middle, which is really where we want him to go to play underneath. Here's just a traditional defense of 3-2. And again, you see the formations I'm giving you are pretty generic. We can move the free safety to the outside if that's where their best receiver is. And then corner number 1 would take the middle. This is all flexible based on what we do. I kind of look to the free safety as like the captain of the defensive backfield. A lot of times we have the Sam linebacker as the captain of the underneath group. Sometimes I've allowed that Sam linebacker just to roam underneath. So if he feels like he's better suited over here on this left side, Mike linebacker would play over on the right. So they're not hard and fixed. It's just this is the number of players that we would have deep, 3, and underneath 2. Here's a 4-1. So now we add corner number 2 to the deep backfield. What fraction of field are all these people covering? 1/4. And they just divide the field and they stay deep. I've had players get caught up in looking at, let's say, for example, the running back comes out and drops into the flat, but this receiver goes long, and they cover the guy who's short and let the guy going long get behind him. Your number one coverage as a deep cover person is to cover anybody deep. Then we keep people up in front of us, and then we go attack the ball, the man, the flag. My linebacker here, 4 deep and 1 up front, will just drop to the middle of the field. Okay, this is just basically 4-0 blast. We have 4 people deep. We have no one up front, and we're just blasting a blitz person. Okay. So these are the just traditional defenses. I have many more. I'm just giving you an orientation. Okay. And this is important here. Let's look at this 2-2 blast idea a minute. Let's say that they did run the ball with the running back, and he came running out over here to this side. You don't want the blitzer to just simply blitz in unconsciously about, well, that's what I was supposed to do. In this case, what we would do if the running back gets the ball, Sam linebacker is going to attack the runner, and the blitzer then, of course, is going to then shade over to this side. Okay, we know sometimes these running backs can run, and then they can have a run pass option. In this case, we're going to use the Sam linebacker as the blitzer to put pressure on the runner to either run or pass. In that case, Mike linebacker will replace the duties of the Sam linebacker in coverage over to the side, and or be the next guy coming up to be able to make the tackle. So just realize that if the running back came this way, we want corner number 2 attacking, Mike linebacker. We're not just going to blitz in. We're going to come over and do the job of corner number 2 and or be the next guy in play to pull the flag. If it's play action, we're not going to worry about the running back necessarily. We have underneath coverage, and then the Mike linebacker, of course, is going to come blitzing in. These are only in case there's a handoff with a run pass option. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll be working on these things out on the field.